Hello everybody. I apologize for being late. I'm going to run and grab my computer real quick so I can see any comments that you might leave me. Hold on, I'll be right with ya. No, settle down. Hey. How is everybody today? I'm running a little behind and I'm going to apologize in advance. We all know this is live, but you're probably going to hear my puppy dogs bark a time or two. They seem to know when I'm alone with them. I don't know if that kicks them into more protect mode or what, but they decide to bark a lot more. Hi Kim, hi Carrie. Hang on, sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. We're going to get there. Had an awesome call with Miss Kim this morning talking about stuff planning for our virtual retreat. I'm so excited for all the stuff that we're putting together for you guys. Okay, hey, I think I'm ready. Hi, Anna. Let's see, I hope I haven't missed anybody. So we have Kim and Carrie and Anna, and I apologize because while I was trying to set things up, I didn't see who else might be here, but welcome anyone who's here. I'm excited to color with you today. I have a card I put together kind of quickly last night. This is didn't turn out quite like I had hoped it would because I was doing it in a hurry, but the concept is there, so I'm super excited about it. And, oh, thank you, Kim. And so we're going to use the Krafty Scenery Stencil 3. It's my new favorite stencil. Of course, I say that about every one of them, so you're just going to have to take me with a grain of salt. And then the Underwater Fun, Lucas and his dog. And we're also going to use the Nautical Netting stencil. And then I've added a couple little elements from the Totally Awesome set, which is the starfish and the seashells. That's hard to say very fast. So anyway, let's get started. I posted my Copic colors. I don't know if anybody's going to be coloring along. I embossed the image. I thought I would try that just to see how the ink goes across it. And what I've discovered is I think I have old embossing powder. When I was coloring with my Copics last night, it was kind of smearing. I let this sit all night, so hopefully it's going to be okay. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to start with the image so that it has time to dry. And then we are going to, oh, both stencils are sold out. Holy cow. We're going to color the image first so that the brighter colors, the oranges, have a chance to dry. And then we'll work on the stenciling, and then we'll come back and we'll do the water over the top of the image. So let's see here if I'm in the frame okay. I don't know how, I've been recently using this Make Art Station. I didn't have one for a long time, and I just seriously don't know how people create without them anymore. I'm so used to it. Let's see here. So I'm going to start with my skin tones for Lucas. Actually, let's start. I don't usually start with the darker colors, but because I want to give him a little bit more of a chance to dry, I'm going to start with the orange on his suit, and so that is going to be the YR07 and the YR04. So we'll start with his suit. I'm going to sit down here. I do too, Kim. I absolutely love this set. Yeah, I'd be embarrassed to tell you how old my embossing powder is. It's probably really, really old. And I did not think that that would happen. So please holler. I'll try to look up every once in a while if I get off frame or if you're not able to see it very well. So because I'm going to go over the top of everything with some ink, I am not being super diligent about coloring really, really well. like I'm not adding a ton of the normal details that I might, because we're going to go over the top of it. And so it's going to have kind of a muted look anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill in. This is my YR07. My hands are shaky today. I'm not sure why. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I have a puppy dog who has got something going on. She seems to be in pain. I can't, it's off and on. I can't get her into the vet until Monday. So I'm just praying that she does all right. So, all right, so that's my YR07. And hello, Margaret. Let's see here. And then here's my YR04. Again, I'm not being super careful about how I'm coloring today. I'm getting my colors in there. Oops, see, darn it. I just picked up a little bit of the black. Darn. Oh well. Would have been better off to just leave it as stamped with the wicked black. Hey, Carla. Oh, you need me to speak up. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I am mumbling to myself. Alrighty, so. Yep, you can see that my embossing bled into my Copic. That's so frustrating, but we're just going to keep moving on. The next color I'm going to use is R08. Hello, Lori. And it's just the little stripe on his air can. And then R05. I'll turn it around so you can see. I tried to put all my markers in a coffee cup today so that when I pull them out, I have the right end, because generally it seems like I'm constantly pulling them out and I have the wrong end. That's our orange. Now we're going to do his the next brightest color, which would be my yellows. So I'm going to start with a Y15 on his fins, his flippers. Darn it, it's bleeding again. Darn. I actually think this is almost worse than it was last night when I did it right off the bat. I thought, shoot, well, you know, that's the thing. It shows you guys that we definitely are not perfect, and you can see the mistakes we make and not do them yourself, right? All right, so let's get his in here too. And I'm just adding some again, I'm not being super careful about being perfect in my coloring. So it's actually, you know, kind of fun to just color without being too concerned, as long as you keep it in the lines. That was Y15. Try to get some of the embossing powder off of there. Now we're going to do Y13. Just filling in, again, not being super careful. I actually think I want this yellow to look a little bit, yeah, Anna, so I did heat emboss because I thought sometimes when I use the Wicked Black and I don't let it sit long enough, and then I stencil a real light color over the top of it like the Salty Sea, it reacts a little bit with the black and pulls it out. And I think it may be the paper I use, I'm not exactly sure. So I thought that maybe by embossing that would make it go quicker in the coloring. Plus I liked the raised effect, since we're gonna go over the image with the ink, I wanted it to still have a little bit more definition maybe. Hey Mary Pat, you're not late at all. We just got started. I'm happy you're here. So that's why I chose to do it. Now, whether or not that was the best decision, I don't think so. Not until I get some different embossing powder. I'm gonna add, I didn't have it on the list, but because I want this yellow to pop just a little bit more, I'm gonna add a Y08 and make it just a little bit brighter. You know, I've probably had this embossing powder for 15 years. And I used to do it a lot. I love the look of embossed stuff. But I think it's time to replace it. You've never had those problems, yeah. So I wonder if it's because I use sort of a, I use the Stampin' Up! Whisper White paper. It has a little bit more of a, I'm gonna use this term lightly, slick texture that I love to color on. It seems like the inks don't penetrate it super fast, and so they flow nicer for me anyway. Okay, so we've done the flippers and we've done the bright orange suit. I'm gonna move on to the skin, and for his skin I've chosen E53 and E51 and E50. So we'll start with that. Try to keep my hand out of the way here. I'm going to try something new today. I have absolutely no idea if it's going to work, but you know what? Again, sometimes it's just fun to try stuff, and if it doesn't work, then you can learn from me, and if it does work, we'll all say woohoo! But I'm going to, hi Mary, I'm going to try, I'm not going to completely color in his face in hopes that it adds kind of a different light and depth when I color over it. Can I move the camera down a bit or move my coloring up? Yes, absolutely. Thank you. How's that? Is that a little better? I have such a lag, so I'm going to try it. We'll wait and see what happens here. That looks a little better. I can see it now, I think. All right, so that was E53. Now we're moving on to E51. And again, just not being super careful with my coloring. I know I want people who are popping in and watching this going, my goodness, she's not paying a lot of attention to her shading and her coloring. Alrighty, and then let's see here. This is the E50. It's my last level. And here's where I'm going to try to just kind of leave, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm playing around. I'm just going to leave that section right there white so that when I color over it with the ink, hopefully, we'll see how it turns out. Oh, darn it. Look at that. Darn ink. Oh! Alright, we are just going to keep going. Because honestly, I think when I color over it with the Salty Sea and the other ink, you're not going to notice it, but it's just frustrating to me. You know how you notice your own stuff more than anybody else does? Okay, so that's Lucas's skin. Let's do his hair next, and I am going to do a little tiny bit of move that out of the way. E47, and I mean teeny tiny bit. I see I didn't color his ear. I'm going to leave it and see what happens. I love his hair. I love, love, love his hair. Hair's like one of my favorite things to color. Except for curly hair. I have a really hard time with curly hair. Yes, it's not the ink, Kim. It's the embossing. It's bad embossing powder. I thought last night when I did it, it was just because I have never had problems with our inks and embossed images ever until just very recently. And I think it's either my Versa stuff or the embossing powder or the combo of both, but it just doesn't seem to really set solid. And I tried not overheating it. So anyway, it's one of those dumb things that you just kind of live and learn with. And if I get really frustrated, I'll just give up and re-stamp it, but I think we'll be fine. So, okay, and again, I'm going to leave a little bit of space here. That was the E44. So I have E47 and E44. Yeah, I didn't even use our Wicked Black ink. I just used a clear Versamark and the embossing powder, but I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't have stamped it first in the Wicked Black and then did the other, which I've done before too. Yeah, I have several I'm going to have to throw out, unfortunately. But you know, the good news is they're not very expensive, so no big deal. We'll just deal with it. All right, let's see, what do we got left? So we're gonna color his, oh, whoops, I forgot part of his orange thing here. So I colored this part of him orange, so let's get that colored orange. And then we'll color the ventilator, I guess is what we call it. And I used an N02 on the edge first. It was really hard to decide what stamp set to color for this today because I just absolutely adore all of the release stamps from June. Like, what a month, holy cow. And oh, you guys, you are going to love July. If you thought June was awesome, well, July is going to blow your socks off. That was N2. Now I'm going to N4 and I'm going to color in this part. It's a little bit deeper color. I apologize. I really thought that it was going to be fine after I let it set all night. So now I know for certain that that embossing powder is old. Okay, that was NO4, or 4, I guess. The tank, I used C3 on. Whoops, sit up there, you. And again, leaving little spots of white here and there. Oh, thanks, Carla. So that when I color over with the blue, we have some variation. Color that in too with the C3. All right, so Lucas is ready to rock and roll. Let's work on our puppy dog. And for him, I used the W series. So I have a W7, a W5 and a W3. And actually, I do have an N7. I can't remember. Oh, that's his nose. So we'll do his nose first. It's like, what did I use that for? His nose is N7. I'm going to put just a tiny bit right there too. Okay. Oh, quit it, Isabel. A brief interruption from your sponsor. Sorry, guys. Puppies. Hey, 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 hey. Alright, so I'm coming in with the W7. Haley, stop. Hey, quit it. Oh, she's just insistent sometimes. Okay. I think from now on I'm not going to do my lives when I'm by myself. My husband has to be home because he has to help with the dogs. Alright, there's his tail. I know, girls, you need to quit. Alright, there's our first layer. I know, I think all I started to talk about, I said I was going to do the dog and they thought maybe there was a dog outside. That's funny, I'm sorry, Carrie. Mine can be pretty obnoxious sometimes when it comes to barking. Alright, that was W7, so now we're going to do W5. Just filling in again, and so, hey girls, stop. I love Cheryl's images. They are just always so stinking cute and fun to color too. Oh yes, I remember your barkers. Well, at least I'm in good company, it sounds like. Thank you, everybody. It stresses me out when they do that. It's just like, oh my goodness, but you can't control it, so you gotta just go with it, right? Let's see. I miss your little barkers, Miss Kimmie. I hope next time I get to see them, they may warm up to me a little bit more. They're so shy. All right, let's see here. So again, filling in, not being super careful with my coloring. I'm not concerned about it being beautiful and perfect. I'm just kind of coloring. And I'm going to leave some strikes of white in there in hopes that I get the effect that I think I'm going to get when I color over it. We'll see. Haley, quit it. I don't know why I try. Doesn't really bother. Okay, so we're going to leave it that way. I left a little bit more on this one than I did on that one. Now we're going to let, oops, wait, I do need to do one more thing, and that is to just inline, I guess, the inside of his little bubble. And this is with N1. Let's see, color that I'm using, let's see. Oh, I agree. I think my dogs they're like people. They don't know how to be social anymore because they're not around anybody but us. Carolyn, let's see, color I'm using on which step, dear? On the dog, I just was using the W7, then 5, then 3. And now I'm using N1 on the inside of our puppy dog's, I should probably stop saying that word, causes barking, his bubble. And I forgot to color that orange earlier, so I'm going to color it real quick orange in hopes that it sits in time. It should be okay. All right, we're going to let them be for a little bit, and we're going to work on, it was the number 3, great, okay. Then we're going to work on, I'm going to move this down so that we can start working on the stenciling while that dries. So let's see here. You'll have to tell me. I'm waiting to see what it does here. if it moves into the frame correctly. So again, Krafty Scenery 3 stencil, my newest favorite stencil, which Kim says is out of stock. I'm so sorry, I chose one that was out of stock. I'm going to start by putting my leaf down. This is where I absolutely love, thank you Mary Pat, I absolutely love this Make Art Station for being able to put down stencils. That is just so stinking sweet, I can hardly stand it. So for the palm leaf, I use the Enchanting Emerald. And, well, I don't know what I did with my, oh here it is. Alright, and my sponge dauber. Do any of you have any plans for the 4th of July? I sent my husband and my adult son and daughter-in-law camping. They wanted to go camping, and with my husband's side of the family, whom I love dearly, but I just have been feeling pretty tired and just really needed some quiet time for me, which I don't think my dogs are going to let me have very much quiet time. But yeah, I just wanted some time to just be and fuss in the yard and craft and work on the July release, which again, you guys are gonna love. I'm sorry to be a stinker about teasing you, but I cannot help it because it's so amazing. But so no big plans on my end. Where I live in Montana, and I'm not sure if they're still going to do the fireworks or not here in Helena, but about an hour away from where I live in Butte, Montana, they do a huge fireworks thing always on the 3rd. And they did that last night, and we didn't go down this year. It was the first year we hadn't gone down, but so I kind of missed out on that, but I'm actually kind of okay. Oh, good. Okay, so you can still get notified about the stencil, which is awesome. And yes, next weekend is the July release. Super excited. Okay, so that is Enchanting Emerald. And then we're going to go ahead and add the palm tree base. Shoot, I didn't pay very good attention. That's all right, we're going to make it work. So there we go. And kind of line it up. It's going to be a little bit of a leaning palm tree. Let's see. All right, we're going to switch it up. We're going to go on the other side this time. In my sample, I did it this way. Oops, where are we at? There we go. This time we're going to switch it up. We're going to go in the other direction because I placed my leaf goofy. That's all right. Oh, your anniversary today. Oh, nice. Oh, okay, Mary Pat, thank you. I was wondering, I've heard a lot of different things about whether or not the fireworks are going to continue. So the base of the palm tree, I used the new sandy, oh gosh, my words are failing me today. Kimmie, if you're here, jump in. My words have completely failed me. Sandy Shores, there we go, I think I got it. So these little cool things, I got a few of them, I don't remember where, but they're awesome for doing finer stenciling. So I'm using one of these so that I can just kind of stay in here a little easier. My puppy dog that kept me up pretty much all night last night, she seems to be dealing with some sort of a hip issue or pain, and she won't lay down, so she just paces all day long. Oh yes, I did get them from you, Kim. They're awesome. I love these little things. But it's very unnerving because she just paces and paces and paces and she never lays down. So I know she's hurting and I can't get her in till Monday. Alrighty, detailed daubers from you. Alright, there's our palm tree. Kind of tempted. You know what? I'm going to give it another leaf or two just because. Nah, maybe not. It's fine. Okay, so that's our palm tree. Then I'm going to add some sand. Before I do that, I put a little bit of extra color in the leaves, and I'm using YG67. And I'm just going to just kind of lightly scroll through the middle of the leaf. And I'm just going to add a couple little lay down love bug. So I'm just adding a little extra definition. That's all I'm doing here. Just giving it a little extra. Thank you, Indy Jean. Then for the palm tree base, I used, I think it was E47. There it is. And I'm just going to put a little extra, just a couple extra details in there, just where the little notches are. Color the base a little bit. So not a lot, just a little. We're just going to give it a little definition here and there. It's kind of out of frame, isn't it? Let me move it up just a little bit more. Oh shoot, I just realized what I forgot to do, but that's okay. So what I was going to do first was put some of the bubbly blue down before I stenciled over with the green and the brown. But I'm just going to, instead of coating it solid, I'm just going to put in some bits of the bubbly blue so that it looks like maybe some puffy clouds. We're going to try that. I thought about that last night after I went to bed. I was like, oh, I needed more blue sky. So this is the bubbly blue, and I'm just going to daub in some sky. Oh, wait a minute. I think I actually grabbed the... Ah, that's the salty sea. That's okay. Oh, goodness. Thank you, Lori. I'm laughing at myself, you guys, because I just could not be any more discombobulated today. I swear to goodness. But you know what? I'm just getting really good at rolling with it most of the time. So I just, you know... What we'll do is we'll just make the water a little darker so that there's a little bit some definition, but. And again, I'm just kind of pouncing. I'm not being super careful about where I'm at with it. I'm just creating some sky. You can see that I can go over the green with the blue and I don't have any issues. So it's my silly embossing powder and the brown. Yeah, Salty Sea is my very, very, very favorite color for sky and water. I absolutely adore this color. Okay, I think that looks kind of like a sky. What do you guys think? Look okay? I'm going to go back in quickly if I can find my marker. Thank you, Anna. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of that green again because it kind of muted it a tad. Love. Okay, palm tree done. And now we're going to put some sand in there. Again, here's my sample card. So I had not done the blue sky last night and laid in bed last night and thought, oh, it'd be really cool to put some blue sky in there. So we tried that today. And oh yay, Salty Sea's back in stock. You know what, Kim? I keep forgetting to ask you if you got the lovely lagoon back in, because that's one that I need a big pad of. I love that color too. We're going to use it a little bit today. So back to business here. We're going to do the sand next. So let me scooch this up. And I'm going to use my ruler to hold it down. And for the sand, I used the Totally Taupe color first. And I'm just going to cover this up. I don't have anything. I'm going to use my hand, so excuse my ugly hand. I don't think I'm going to get down that far, but just in case. All right, so I'm just going to swoosh in some sand. Swoosh is a technical crafting term, in case you didn't know that. I'm telling you. It's a very technical term. So I'm using a sponge dauber, and I'm just swooshing in my sand. And it's going to come down a little bit around the palm tree base. Lovely lagoon are back in stock. Yes, 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 yes. I need a pad and a refill, a full-size pad. I have the little cubie. I love it. Let's see. Okay, so just getting a base of sand down. So he's going to be under the beachy water. And we'll put a little bit darker up here. Again, swooshing, swooshing, swooshing. We're going to cover up a little bit of this when we go down. Okay. We'll let that dry for a sec. And then what I did to give the sand a little bit more texture is I dotted in with my Copic markers in the E series. And so we should probably go ahead and stamp. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the little starfish and the bubbles while I'm thinking about it before we go to the next step. And those both come from the Totally Awesome set. I absolutely love this adorable little set. So I'm going to grab the starfish and I'm going to stamp it in the sandy shores. And we're going to put one over here in the corner. And we're going to put one right about there. And we'll put one over there, kind of along the water's edge. Okay. Oops, darn it. Oh, there they are. I already colored and fussy cut a couple of the little seashells that I'll put on there after the fact. Those are also from the Totally Awesome set. For the bubbles, I'm going to use, I want them to show up a little bit more, so I'm going to use Mermaid Melody on those, I think, this time. I used gray last night and it didn't show up as much as I wanted it to, so I'm going to try it this way. Totally Awesome is also back in stock. You know, I've had the same color, Wendy Jean. Some of my very favorites, I can't get either a new marker in my Copics or I can't get the refill, so it's a bummer. But again, I'm one of this like Pollyanna kind of people, but on the bright side of that is it has forced me to use other colors that I bought and absolutely insisted I needed to have and hardly ever use. So let's see. So I don't know if you noticed what I just did, but I didn't want this to be super, super bright blue. So I stamped it off first, just real lightly, and then stamped it again on the image so that it's not quite as saturated, but it's there. And I just used a super light pressure on both times that I did it. So we're just gonna, let's see here, we'll just do some more bubbles this direction maybe. There we go. So there's our bubbles. Can you see that okay? Do I need to move it up again a little bit? The light blue shades, yep. So my favorites of the light blue shades, of course, I already said it is Salty Sea. That's my very, very, very favorite color of the blues. Then my second would probably be the bubbly blue as far as the light blues go. I love the lovely lagoon. And then of course I love our deeper, darker blues too. Some of those are my very favorite as well. I love all of them actually. Again, it's kind of like talking about the stencils. I tell you I have a favorite, but the truth is they're all my favorite. Just depends on what I'm coloring. Okay, so let's color in our starfish that we put in, and for that I used I don't think I used I think it was E41. So yep, E41 first. So it just gives it a little bit different brown than the sand. I remember one year I was in Oregon and we went out to the beach right after the tide had went away, and there were all these gorgeous colored starfish. I always thought starfish were just this light kind of brown color. There was purple and red and pink. Oh, they were so pretty. I've never seen such gorgeous colors. Oh, you meant the Copics in light blues. Yeah. I'm out of, the things I can't get are some of my staples, like the refills for some sea colors, and then my yellows are running out, and most of my blues I'm okay on, except for, there's a couple I can't get. Yes, our inks are the best, Kim, honestly. I know, people probably expect us to say that, but I don't lie, and the truth is I absolutely love our inks. You can do so much with them. They're my favorite, especially for Copic coloring, So what I'm doing now is I just went in with an E43 and just enhanced the color just a little tiny bit. And then let's go ahead and add our sand, some texture to our sand. So I'm going to grab an E50, and I'm just ever so lightly, like I'm hardly touching the sand with my marker. I'm just touching ever so lightly. So I don't want big dots. Kind of distracting having those on there, so I'm going to move them out of the way. Yep, I don't use any other inks ever. These are my favorite. Just touching, ever so lightly. Just creating. It's hard too, because I want to pounce, like I'm really a heavy-handed colorer. No rhyme, no reason, just dots, little tiny dots. No, can you see that? Can you see that it makes a little tiny bit of a difference? So it's just a little different color. And then I'm gonna do, let's see here, I'm gonna use, I can't remember if I used the E53 or the 51. So I'm gonna go to 53 next. And And this time I'm gonna, oops, I grabbed the wrong end. This time I'm gonna just do some little dots again, but this is a little different color, so ever so lightly. And then I'll probably go over that again just because with the E50, yeah, 50. You know, it takes a lot of patience to not like to do this super light. I could smoosh my Sandy Shores ink on the surface. Oh my gosh, yes, that would be super cool. That's a great idea, Kim. I'm going to try that. Yep, that's an awesome idea. That would be really good. And she used the technical term of smoosh, smoosh and swoosh. Let's see here. I'm not going too far down here because I'm going to have the water come up just a little bit. So, oops. A little bit, but not too much. Yeah, the flicking technique would be really cool, actually. It'd be pretty fun. It's kind of fun to get messy. Okay, so there's a little more texture to the sand, or even the Marvelous Mocha. Yes, absolutely. Now I'm going to go back to my E50 and just one more time. This time I'm just going to kind of be a little less careful. Where I have some of those darker ones, I'm going to hit it with the E50 to kind of get them to blend a little bit. Oh, I would so love to be on the beach right now. Oof, it'd be so nice. Although it's a beautiful day here. And there are tons of weeds in my flower beds calling my name, so pretty sure I know what I'll be doing today. Okay, so not perfect, but I think you get the idea, right? Actually, I think it looks kind of cool. Spray, oh, you know what? I've got to, Carrie, I need to go back and watch some of your videos because I have these sprays and I haven't used them and I forgot how. Last night I have to tattle on myself, so oh, paper towel. That's a good idea too. Look at all you guys with your great ideas. I can't wait to try them. So last night I had this, oh, what the heck is that stuff called? It's a powder. But I didn't realize it was a powder, and I was trying to get it to come out. I thought it was like a Nouveau shiny drop stuff. I'm gonna have to go get it so I can tell you what it is. Well, I pushed it really hard, and all this fine purple powder went everywhere. Like it went splat, and it just sprayed all over the place. And oh my gosh, it took forever to clean it up. I had it everywhere. Well, then I put my reading glasses on so I can see what in the heck I did wrong. And I realized that I was supposed to either put the paper down and spray it with water or put some water on the paper and then add the powder stuff. It's the Nouveau Shimmer Powder, I think is what it's called. Yes, Carrie. And I had the biggest mess. You would not believe what a mess I had. Okay, so we have our sandy shores, we have our sky, we have our palm tree, we have a few of our starfish. We'll glue these little guys on here later. These again are from the Totally Awesome set. Aren't they cute? And then we're going to start on the water. So I'm going to try to scooch this up again so you can see what I'm doing. So for the water, what I did on that is I used this part of the stencil, and I just created this little guy. He's going to be partially in the water. That's okay. So our first layer of, actually I'm going to cover him up so he's not too much in the water. Fussy, fussy, fussy. Here we go. There we go. All right. So I want the water to come up a little bit. It's going to be kind of up on the shore. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. hold it still. And then I used the Salty Sea for the water, so we're going to use that again. Actually, I might start with, I'm switching things up. I'm going to start with the Lovely Lagoon, so that the water is a little bluer at the sea line, and then it'll get a little lighter, and then it'll get darker again at the bottom. So this is the Lovely Lagoon, and I'm just coming in and creating a water up against the shore kind of look. Can you guys see that okay? Do I need to move it? I should probably pause for a sec here. I'm going to shift this over just a little bit so that I don't get that wave quite yet. I don't want a wave in there quite yet. Tuck that under. Okay, so whoops, let's fill that in a little bit. Alright, so that is the Lovely Lagoon. See how pretty that is? I love that color so much. I'm going to put a little of the Lovely Lagoon at the way bottom real quick. I'm going to shift this up, and because I want to have that down before I do something else. So I'm just going to, whoops, doggone it, you moved. Stay there. So I'm just going to bring in some of the Lovely Lagoon at the bottom. The water will get darker as it goes down, right? That's what I think anyway. Oh, that's kind of cool. See? Oh, that worked, you guys. How exciting. Oh, yay. Yay, yay, yay. In spite of all the stuff I did today, this actually looks pretty stinking cool. So, can you see how cool that looks, that the water looks like it's reflecting off of his body? Hi, Sabrina. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited about how that turned out. Oh, super excited. The little things, peeps. It's the little things, peeps. Let's see here, and then I'm still just bringing in some of this Lovely Lagoon. I'm going to go over the top of it with Salty Sea, but I want some variation in the color, so, oops, I bent my corner. Oh, I'm so excited how that looks. That worked so cool. Okay. Alrighty, that's that part. Now, thank you, Carla. Alright, so now let's go back up here. Let me give it a sec to see where I'm at in the frame. Make sure we're okay. Happy dance time. I know. I have to laugh at myself sometimes. I'm kind of a dork. That's okay though. Let's see here. So we have our Lovely Lagoon. We have it everywhere here. So now I'm going to go over the top of this with my Salty Sea. I'm going to finish out my water with my salty sea. There it is. Okay, here we go. Let's see, it looks like maybe I could pull it up a bit more. Thank you, Margaret. Okay, so here we go. Now we're doing salty sea. We're just going over the top of it. I've used this so much that I need to put my re-inker on there, so bear with me while I pounce on it a bit. It's actually a little bit dry because I've used it so much recently. There we go. Alright, so salty sea is what we're putting over the top of this, and oh cool, that worked well too on his hair. You can see the blue in it and see how it works on the tank here. I love how the Kraftin Kimmie inks blend so nicely with themselves and with everything else. I mean, they just are awesome. So you can see that my Copics are picking up a little bit. Those bright colors, they just tend to want to do that sometimes, but with each other too. Which is why I had wanted it to dry for a little while first. So see how, like I said, I wasn't super concerned about the how detailed I colored because everything looks kind of muted now. And as it dries, so right now it's wet, but as it dries, you know, some of the color is going to pop a little bit more, but really that's what we were going for. I mean, they're underwater, so they shouldn't be, and you've got all the reflections going on and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm actually quite tickled that that turned out that way. Okay, let's blend this a little bit more. Okay, what do you think? Should we, and now we can do the bottom. Does that look okay? Oh gosh, okay, yep, so let me get done here quickly, Anna, so that you can start yours. Sorry. Just have 2 more steps to do, and that is to add some color at the bottom. And I use the Nautical Netting, and I put it at a little bit of an angle. And I first used my Sandy Shores. And whoops, come back here, you. So I'm just kind of filling in with my little precision dauber thingy majiggy here. And I'm gonna cover some of this with some gold paste. Whoops. There we go. Oh, Anna, I'm so sorry. I started late and then I made you late. I'm gonna get done here quickly. Easy Bell, you're gonna have to wait. I will let you out in a minute. Okay, so that is the Sandy Shores over the top on the bottom. And now I'm gonna go, oh, can't move it, yes, moving it up. Okay, so you can't really see what I just did, I apologize, but, so sorry about that. Gotta look up a little bit better. So what I did is I have the Nautical Netting stencil, and I put it on the very bottom. So that's how that looks right now. Can I zoom out? No. Sorry, Mary, I'm terrible at that. Once I've got it set, I don't know how to move it in or back. So, sorry about that. I have to learn that, I guess. So that's what I've done so far. Now what I'm going to do is I have a little bit of this Nouveau Glacier paste, and it's kind of a gold color. So they are they're diving and they've come across some gold pieces. So we're gonna create that in the bottom. Isabel, you have to wait a minute. I will let you out in a second. You have to wait. All right, so I moved it and fine. Okay, good. So we're just gonna add a little bit of gold here and there. And I'm just using the teeniest, tiniest little end on this, with this little palette knife thing, just to kind of put it in there, glob it in there. I know, Isabel. You just have to wait a little bit longer. Just wait a minute. She's so impatient. Okay, so that's all I'm doing with that. Isn't that gold fun? That's the first time I had opened it, was last night. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I buy these things from Shop the Box, and I watch all the other crafty girls do all this amazing stuff, and I swoop it up, and then I forget to use it. But it's very exciting once I finally do. Okay, so I'm just gonna gently lift this off so you can see how it looks. Isabella, quit it. You just have to wait a minute longer. I'm gonna quickly wipe this off a little bit so it doesn't stick too much. All right, so the only last thing that we have to do, I'll do it really quickly, is I'm gonna glue on my little seashells that I had colored and fussy cut last night, because I knew that that might take me a bit of time. So, just not going to be too careful. I'll show you where I've glued them in just a sec here. I don't want to bump the gold. Oh, actually, you can see them in there. That's cool. Okay. All right, so we have, let's do this here. So I'm gonna move this down just a hair so you can see a little bit more. So that is our whole underwater scene. I think you can see it pretty much, right? And so all I did, I'm gonna let it dry. I'm actually probably gonna heat set the gold. This is the one I did last night, and I put it on a brown base and then on the blue cardstock. This is a overall size of 8¼ inches by 3.75 inches, the Slimline coloring, or size, sorry. So there we go. Thank you for being with me today in spite of all of my dog barking and my bumbling around. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're enjoying our Jumpin' June recap with all the fabulous June products, and I can't wait to see what Anna's got up for us next. So thank you so much. Yes, gold stickles through the stencil works absolutely awesome. Any stickle through the stencil works so good. I've tried that. That works great. It'd be fun to put it around the edge too, like Bridget does. She puts the stickles around the edge, which is super cool. You could also put some shimmer in the water with your Wink of Stella. So there's all kinds of fun things we can do with it. So thank you everyone very much. I appreciate you being with me. I'm gonna go let my little dog out before she barks her head off. Have a great weekend. Bye.